Okay, so this reading absolutely took me out. I was so shocked. Maybe I'm just naive, but I was like, yeah, they're a girl group. They're gonna get along. No, this reading kind of indicated that IZONE may or may not have been a little bit of a bloodbath. Listen, IZONE disbanded after I got into K-pop. I like Swan, I like Livia and Rose, I root for all the girlies. Don't shoot the messenger, but also if you dislike the video, I'll understand because I was honestly gagged too. With that being said, please comment any lore you know about IZONE, and maybe like the video. And of course, everything I say is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only, and with peace and love. And let's go. Okay. That's getting over a heartbreak. That can be like misguided aggressions or like being misdirected in some way. The need for a new perspective. Not being attached to your higher self, poor intuition, the devil, toxicity. I wasn't expecting this. Honestly, the first card we pulled was the Three of Swords in the reverse position. Honestly, that indicates to me there was beef in IZONE while they were together. I think it has to do, IZONE was like a massive group, right? There were like, I don't even know, like 20 girls in this group. And you got the we got a lot of major arcana cards, first of all, but we got the start, and this is all like major arcana. To me, this references the past. It seems like there was a lot of jealousy, and also their workplace maybe wasn't the most supportive or the best. And I I don't know where to start, because like there's a lot of energy, and there's a lot of images like rifling through my mind. Let's pick one. I guess like the first thing we'll focus on is I think there was a lot of jealousy in the group. I think it has to do with who got the most lines or the most screen time. Because when you think about a group that has like 4 members, 5 members, it's easier to get screen time and lines because it's just like there's not that many people to give it to. And a group that's very big, I think you have to kind of clamor for that in like a 2-minute, 3-minute song. And I think there were members who were like, I want to be shown more, or like want more lines, or I want more notoriety. You also have to think about, I think a lot of these idols really we're like almost trying to get hired by like a company. Is that how it works? I don't 100% know, but it's sort of like Chaewon, for example, went to Hybe and Source Music, and then later debuted in Le Seraphim. And I think she got that opportunity through them like seeing her in the show, and then later in IZONE, and they're like, oh my god, like go girl, get it. So I think there was a lot of stress around that as well. I mean, like you could kind of read it as like bitterness and pettiness of like, oh, like I'm better than her, like, but it's more just like stress. It's like I need to be in front of the camera so I can get more opportunities later on. I mean, it also I think is a little bit ego attached, because you have to remember, I mean, these are like high performing people in their like art, you know, as a K-pop idol. So it's like I want to be seen, like I like to sing and dance. That created a lot of conflict in the group. I think their environment was, because that didn't I don't know the lore 100%. This was after I joined K-pop, but I remember when I figured out who IZONE was, I fell in love. I was like, this is a really cool group, but they were already disbanded by then. But IZONE was formed through a survival show, as far as I know, which was inherently competitive. And also that survival show had like weird edits, right? Where it's like it would make someone look like really mean when they weren't actually mean because it was edited weirdly. That spilled over into IZONE when they were working together. And I don't know, because I didn't watch the survival show, that's my bad. But it would be like if one member that's in IZONE in the show had been edited to say something bad about another member. That like would still, even if they know like, yeah, we know like the editing is weird, that would carry on into the group. Their work environment was also super competitive. I think because it's sort of like you want to be the best singer, you also want to be the fan favorite, you also want to be the favorite of like staff and stuff. And so that created a lot of the competition to like be the main girl. And I don't 100% know. Wasn't it like Sakura and Wonyoung were the centers, or like the main people? There was a lot of animosity just I think around that as well. How the group was formed and everything. High Priestess to me kind of indicates that like there wasn't a lot of guidance or a lot of, because like IZONE, a lot of those girls were like in their early 20s, or some of them maybe weren't 20 already, so they're all very young, and there's a lot of them. I don't think there's just like, I don't know if this is true for all K-pop groups, but I don't necessarily see it as a strong theme. But I don't think a lot of K-pop groups necessarily have a lot of like guidance just around like living and like being like a human. You know what I mean? Which is valuable to have when you're young. And so because of that, I think the group relationship, like they weren't all besties, but they were like friends within, you know, because it's like how many girls were in this group? So there's 12 members in the group, and because of that, I don't think they were all friends with one another. But it was sort of like people knew who people liked and people knew who people didn't like. And so it's sort of like you would like between breaks when you're like shooting a music video, you would just go to your clique. It did feel very cliquey, but not in an official way. It was just sort of like there's a lot of personalities, and I think some personalities didn't mesh well, along with just a competitive environment and like wanting to be like the favorite in the group. That just created a lot, like you have to, if you put yourself in a situation, that created a lot of just like tension, stress, and pressure. oh. There's a lot of major arcana, which talks about like a lot of like big energy that's very like prominent or important or like monumental in some way. So you have the Four of Pentacles in the reverse position, which would be like a loss of power, feeling powerless in some way. The Temperance is a like balance, it's being on the right path. But then we also got the 5, 6, 7 of Swords, which can be like something weird, kind of shady going on. It can also kind of indicate like gossip a little bit. That word keeps like popping up in my head. It's like there's a lot of gossip, and I was like, that can't be. But you have to remember, like, I mean, like, everybody has been young at some point. So I do feel like there was gossip that happened in the group. I'm trying so hard not to paint this in like such a like, oh my god, like kind of a light, because if you really think about it, it's just like, I mean, I don't know why I didn't like really like assume this before. I was like, yeah, like they're friends, they're in a group. So like I don't think it's because people were necessarily like mean girls or mean-spirited at their core and at their heart. I think it was just like a tough environment to be in. But I also see like there is oh, I'm stressed already. What I see in my mind's eye is like a pack of dogs, and they're all like piling on each other. To me, I feel like that kind of is like people stepping on one another to get ahead, or like doing something that maybe makes someone look less good so you look better, so you get more screen time, so you're favored more, so maybe you'll get like a better contract or something like that. Because I feel like to a degree, IZONE was to like get the attention of a company that would like sign you into their group, which worked pretty successfully. I think almost everybody got signed. Everyone got signed, right? But some didn't necessarily to a company or like a group and or whatever. Anyway, but I see like there's like a lot of like just like I don't know, like underhandedness. I think some members in the group were like actually genuine friends, and I think some members still do keep in contact. Most, I wouldn't say. Lots going on. So that's like Four of Cups is being kind of mad about like what's being offered or given to you. That can be like feeling under attack, and that can be like poor strategizing or poor planning. What's that mean? Sun? I think younger members maybe were favored more. Or that's true. I think that's true. But also I think members that just like shined, which I guess makes sense like in a group, but it's like favored by the people who they work behind the scenes for IZONE. So those people were also really favored. So if you were somebody that was a fan favorite, if you were somebody that the camera loved, you got treated better behind the scenes as well. I don't know if that's true for all groups. I feel like for strong, like established groups, like that's less true. In IZONE, that was like you got like preferential treatment when it came to like going places or I don't know, working with people. Like you just got like preferential treatment. I think that played a role. Also, I think in the beginning of IZONE, they had almost kind of like a girl group kind of like conversation, like okay, like we're gonna be there for each other. That quickly dissolved because it just feels so incredibly competitive and just very like sorry, like that's how you play the game. But imagine they're all like in their early 20s and like some are, I think maybe like teenagers still. Yeah, some of them were teenagers because I remember Wonyoung was like what 16 or something. I feel like there was a lot of like not necessarily knowing who to trust in IZONE as well. They were like, it would be like if you worked at like an office job and you couldn't trust your coworkers to like rat on you to the boss, and your coworkers would also try to make you look bad so they could get like raises and promotions. That's strong. That's strongly what the energy and vibe is giving. It makes me kind of sad. I didn't like, again, I really wasn't like there when IZONE was like popping off, so I don't know if like behind the scenes footage would like retroactively kind of show that or not. But again, I really want to emphasize like it was a tough environment to be in, and also there were like friends among each other, but just not everyone got along. I think it's unfortunate. IZONE could have really had such a strong career as a group together. I think there were like weird things about like the voting which made like IZONE disband. I don't 100% remember. And of course we got like great groups out of IZONE like Le Seraphim and IVE, but they could have, because Injustice talks about like there's something shady going on with the way the group was like formed, which I think was proven, right? I don't know my lore, I'm sorry. If it was only allegedly, then allegedly someone did do something that made the voting or like who got chosen weird. I don't know if that's public knowledge. I don't know, I'm sorry. Okay. Queen of Swords, Knight of Cups. A rest and relaxation. The Knight of Cups. Knight of Wands. Not being otaku besties. Can I say something? Like, I don't know how to describe this. There was a member. This would have been an older member, or a member that is just in some way like gives older energy, or maybe is more mature. Anyway, it would be a member in the group, and I feel like they're someone who's very smart. They're manipulative, but I don't want that to come off as like a negative connotation, but they're very good at like playing people. I could see them almost like strategizing to kind of make other members look bad and get what they want. It would be around emotions almost. Like they would cry if a member did something that like, it would be like if one member was joking with you and you start crying when the manager walks in to make that member look bad, even though you both knew it was like a joke and that's just like how you guys play along. There was one member that did stuff like that to get ahead, and let me give you tea, it worked. I don't want to say who I think this member is because I don't want to call out the girly bop. They are a member there's somebody that is in the industry now that you would know. I mean, like, I guess if you follow IZONE, you would know all of them, but this member, anyway, but the person that keeps popping up in my mind, I don't want to say who it is. I don't want to like keep information up from you, but I also don't want to like bag on this person. Because honestly, like what I hear in my head is like business is business. But it does seem like there was like sabotaging almost, or trying to make somebody look bad in some way. You also have the Three of Cups, which is literally like a separation of friends. The Ace of Swords next to the Three of Cups. This is like friendship in the upright position. In the reverse position, it's like frenemies. It's like there's no harmony when it comes to group activities, etc. You have the Ace of Swords, which is like the birth of a new idea. This person, I'm kind of like, I feel like they tried. I just don't know if it's really in their personality to like be around a lot of people or to be in sort of kind of like a sorority type of a vibe. It didn't seem malicious. It genuinely just seemed like strategy. I think it kind of depends on like your personal philosophy around like friendship, but like if you're in it to be a K-pop idol to make friends, like that's fine, you can do that. They were very much like, I'm in this group to get what I want, which is like baddie behavior. It makes me giggle though. They would just like make people look bad. They were a super smart person, very highly manipulative, but also did mess with other people in the group that maybe just were kind of like, I just want to sing and dance, honestly. Anyway, we have the Eight of Swords, the reverse position, the Lovers, being left out in the cold. I think there was really strong favoritism in this group. It was favoritism based on fans, though. So sort of like the more a member would grow on the fans, the more favored they were, and it would leave some members out in the cold, even if that member was technically better in some way. The Lovers, two things coming together. Why do we get that card? The Hierophant. Wheel of Fortune. Doing things differently. Fortune. Page of Swords. It really feels kind of like IZONE when you were a member in it and they were beyond like the survival show. Like you're actually IZONE, you're doing Swan, you're doing Navia and Rose. Really kind of feels like Survivor or like Lord of the Flies almost. I don't know, like there just wasn't a sense of like loyalty. And members that just like weren't able to break out as much or weren't as appealing to fans had a harder time, I think, getting further or getting more opportunities or getting people to take them on. It really was like, and it's unfortunate too, because it's like, I feel like everybody in that group was worthy in some way, one way or another, visually, for how you sing, how you dance, how you move, just how like much of a star you are, but it really became so competitive. I'm stressed, like I don't know if I give off this energy, but I'm not a competitive person. I would have collapsed day 3. I would have been like, take me out of this group. It just seems so like, it's weird, because like, I don't think there's really any ill feelings towards one another. I think everyone in the group is kind of like, yeah, like that's just how the game is played, and like you played it better than me. That's kind of the energy. I feel like now that IZONE is disbanded and time has passed, most people in the group just kind of shrug it off and are like, I mean, honestly, like I'm set in what I'm doing now. If you're an actress, if you're in a group, if you're a soloist, I think if you put some of the members, because there seems like there were some members who really just diametrically did not like each other. Even if like, regardless of being put in IZONE, if they were just classmates or like coworkers, they would not have liked each other. Those people, it's like, I feel like they smile very well for the camera, but it's like they don't talk. It's like if I see this girl at like an award show, it's like I'm turning the other way. Some members do still keep up with each other, but there are members who like I think Yena was in this group, right? Like, I think she talks with some people, and I don't know what the leader's name. What's the leader's name? Was Yena? I'm not sure. But like some members do talk. It's sort of just like forgiving. I also think there was a member that was heavily beloved, but like other members were like frustrated because they weren't necessarily like the best at their skill set, and people were like, why does everyone love her? Like she sucks. Ooh, that's not what I said. That's what Spirit said. I'm sorry. I was trying so hard to like frame that more politely, but it was like, yeah, like this is too. Oh no, the Moon, Strength, Tower. Is this current or behind? These are all major arcana too. The Moon is a secret. Strength in the reverse is like literally like a lack of strength, feeling disempowered in some way. And the Tower is like a calamity, a disaster. Related to their work, related to the group. And this is like poor planning and strategy and giving to one member and not another member. Can I say something kind of big and bold and brave? I feel like, and please in the comments if you know, like, didn't IZONE disband because of something having to do with like rigging and maybe like the boys group or something? I can't remember. That's part of why they disbanded. But another reason why they disbanded was truly because like other members were being like favored. Some companies wanted it to end so they could get their groups going. I kind of feel like Hybe played a role in this because they were like, we want LE SSERAFIM to debut. Like, we have these girls in mind. Like, let's go. I feel like there's something like that. It was like IZONE could have gone further, but there was a lot of interference and there was a lot of reasons. It was partly because the girls didn't get along and it was becoming like a mess. It's partly because there were just a lot of offers already on the table and they were like, I don't want to wait like another 2 years for my idol to get out of this contract so they can sign this contract. And it was also partly like a rigging thing. But it's hard though because it seems like there was something shady about it almost. I don't know if that's already known because this happened like what? IZONE disbanded like 4 years ago. What new information could come out about this that people would be interested in? Ooh, all money cards. What's happening? King of Pentacles. 10. Looking back satisfied. I feel like, I don't know why specifically, Hybe had something to do with the disbandment of IZONE. Like, intentionally. Because, I don't know, didn't IZONE, was it they didn't renew their contract or their contract got interrupted somehow? But I feel like IZONE was supposed to do more, especially because they were, like, really strong when they disbanded. Like, people were very interested in them. They were doing really well. It has to do with the company interfering. It feels like Hybe, just because this card often pops up whenever we talk about Hybe and other matters, but it has to also do with money. This, maybe I'm being dramatic. This card often pops up about Minhee Jin. And, like, we're learning a little bit, going to, like, the New Jeans case about how LE SSERAFIM debuted very quickly. I think that plays a role too. I don't know, from disbandment to LE SSERAFIM's debut, what's the tea? You know what? I also feel like LE SSERAFIM's debut heavily influenced IVE's debut. I don't know which group debuted first, but like I feel like everyone knows who's behind the scenes, like when a group is going to like come on the scene. I think that influenced it. I think because if you're paying attention to LE SSERAFIM's debut, then you're going to pay attention to Yujin and Wonyoung debuting in IVE, because it's just like, oh, like the IP of IVE1, like the girls, what are they doing? I think they that was intentionally put that they debuted around the same time. I don't know why that's tea, but the cards were kind of like, there was something weird about that. I don't know enough lore to parse that apart, my bad. Page of Pentacles, Apprehension, King of Cups. It was good in the long run. I think IZONE helped all the members. I think some members were a bit disappointed, maybe with how IZONE ended, or IZONE ended too soon, or they didn't get offers for things despite trying really hard. I think some members were actually really torn up about maybe not being offered into a group and wanting to be in a group, or just wanting different opportunities. And I think, like, in 2020, IZONE disbanded in 2021. So in 2022, they would be really upset. In 2025, they're very, like, happy that they had that experience, and I think it benefited everybody in the long run. Behind the scenes and the girls in the group, companies are very pleased about this. I think it was a great launch pad. And I also think it helps them prepare for the idol industry, because that energy was crazy. I think it really forced them to try very hard and be very, like, dog eat dog. And now it's like, when you think about it, partly it's like Chaewon, Sakura, Yujin, and Wonyoung all have like really strong fan bases, and you're like, yeah, that's why like they're really popular in their groups, because they had previous fan bases. That's part of it. It's also part of, they had to learn how to stand out, because they had to, like, you know, be so different from 12 other girls in IZ*ONE. That helped a lot. It really helped them hone their craft. Well, I mean, honestly, T, thank you.